Woo!
Woo. I'm telling you, still get the rig. Please get the rig. Please.
Who doesn't want to curl in Pumas? Come on, Jose.
I'm not saying it's not a common thing. I'm just saying. Hey, everybody. We are officially live. Welcome to Damage Check episode 75. As always, we're going to wait the proper 6 minutes to let people come right in, and then we'll get actually started.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. I can't believe you got de-shifted. It was bound to happen, though.
It was so bad.
Dude, was it Peter again?
Yeah. We only played one game. I only got to make it 9 turns, and I'm okay. And he's like, turn 8.
D-shift. I knew you were getting, dude. Everyone's got to get de-shifted.
Please no. I was also playing Seraph Haven, so probably my weakest deck.
What's funny is that everyone thinks we're talking about Gear Chronicle today, but we're really not. Gear Chronicle is actually as far away from this point as can be.
Also, just to make my point, I curl in a Puma shirt, and the shirt matches my broom. I don't know if I could pass up having shoes that match my shirt that matches my broom, sweatpants, which I theoretically could curl in. I feel like it's an opportunity not worth passing up.
All I'm saying is rig, bro. You need the rig.
Always go for the rig.
I also
Always go for the rig.
don't know how to build a computer. That's also a slight problem.
Just order one. You can order a wholesale one, like from Cybertron PC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cheaper if you do it yourself, but I'm not gonna do it myself. I'm gonna ask my friends to do it for me because they know that garbage.
See, that's the thing. In theory, I could ask Jeffrey to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
That would require you making contact with Jeffrey, which you haven't done in 3 years.
I saw him over the summer. I talked to him over the summer. I did.
How was that?
It was fine. He's actually really, really nice when you're not living with him. So, which I think is perfect.
No.
Nate, do you wear a shredder mask when you curl?
No.
You should. I would approve of the Pumas if you wore the shredder mask.
Yeah, he is. Nathaniel Drum stepping up to the rock, wearing a shredder mask.
There's so much wrong with it. It's not gonna go.
Do it.
When you step up to the hack, you don't step up to the rock. That's stupid. And we don't even call them rocks. They're stones. We're not beating each over the heads with them. They're stones.
Have a tiny samurai. This is for you.
Just saying.
Also, anybody check on any token trades?
No, we need to keep the tokens, man. Tokens are important.
No, I'm asking for tokens.
Oh.
I need
Dude, apparently there are 4K tokens somewhere. I want the 4K tokens.
I'm talking about token Rambu. I want the token Rambu.
I want the 4K tokens. Apparently there's 4K tokens. Actual Vanguard 4K tokens.
Oh, weird. I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen them either. But
I bet they come in. I bet they come in Trinity Dragon because of Deep Police.
That would make sense.
I would like someone to send a super chat. You know, the new YouTube feature where you pay to chat. I'm actually really excited about it.
Super chat. Super chat. Even better chat than before.
Hey, if you send $500 with your super chat, your chat post is pinned for 5 hours. So,
yeah, no.
There you go.
Wait, so is it $100 an hour?
Actually, that is a good question. Yes, it is.
Would you look at that? All right, now we got 2 more minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes as we wait for everyone to come in.
On a side note, I actually think it will be useful during the Extra Life live stream.
The super chat?
Yeah.
Super chat! Oh, don't forget.
Super chat for a superstar.
Oh, by the way, Ryan, I need you to get St. Patty's Day off. You know why.
Oh no.
Oh, yes. You know the rule about likes, Ryan.
No, we're not doing that
No.
this time.
100 likes. 100 likes.
I need you to take the next month, Ryan, and prepare yourself mentally.
And like steal my liver.
Braxton
For those of you
too,
who
for
don't
that
know, the last St. Patty's Day stream, who in the chat said JoJo is ugly.
I would
Who
definitely.
are you talking about here, Cardfight King? You can get your ass out of my chat right now.
Oh no, this is the guy. No. Here's the answer to Cardfight King. Play Blue Wave. It's Clay. It's Clay from when we went to Virginia.
Oh
We kept
yeah.
saying JoJo's wasn't good. See?
You can hop out my
Clay.
chat, Clay. Hello.
Ryan, I think it would be a decent backup plan to call someone and have a kidney liver donation on standby.
I think Keith's my blood type. I'm sure I'd be just fine with his.
It'd be kind of going from like a 0% kidney to a 30% kidney or liver, but you know.
I would just have that in the back pocket, just in case.
All right, here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to Damage Check episode 75. Let past decks die. I am joined with. I'm so glad you can be here. Before we get started, let us give a shout out to our beautiful sponsor, Ultra Reality Games, Cardfight Vanguard Circuit Series. Please check the link in the chat or in the description to see when their upcoming events are, and make sure you attend those events to get sweet prizes and nice mats and sell your cards. You do get a medal and a pin, and I think they give out, like in certain ones, they give out nice little bags. I have one of those bags.
Quality.
It's nice, and the mats are just so pretty. But moving on, besides that, we've got Damage Check 75 to do. I'm joined with the late, the great, the Phantom Nate.
Okay.
And the Doombringers, the Allbringers, the Great Bringer, Doombringer Griffin.
Hello.
And the cat to myself. So this week is not really been a week because we did a damage check on Friday, so it's only been like 5 days. And of those days, only 2 of them have had spoilers. So we really don't have that much to cover, which is nice because the spoiler wheel tends to drag on sometimes. But let's get started with the spoiler of let's get started with the Crown of the Seven Seas, Knight Zwala. Ryan, hit us with that skill.
Yep. So, Crown of the Seven Seas Zwala. Or Zwala. I'm sorry.
Knight Zwala.
Knight Zwala. Oh, terribly sorry. Alright. So, this is a Cardfight Vanguard card. And I'm assuming it is less than a grade 4. So, in case you didn't notice, I'm getting to draft them right now.
Alright, so it is a stride. It is a grade 4.
Oh, I was so close. I was totally wrong.
15k power.
It
No
is
shield.
15k power, no shield. Auto limit break 4. Gotta scroll up here because my computer's stupid. Auto limit break 4. Counterblast 1. 7 Cs, so it's a special counterblast. And choose 2 cards with 7 Cs in its card name and discard them. So it's a special discard. And at the end of the battle that this unit attacked the Vanguard, so it has to attack the Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, put this unit in your G zone face up. Choose one of your grade 3s with 7 Cs in its card name from your drop zone and write it on Vanguard as a rest. What are some thoughts here? Nate, give me some thoughts.
It's
Sunshine Vert.
interesting.
Except,
I mean, yeah.
it comes
I
out
mean,
at
what are
rest.
you doing?
It's
You're just
nothing.
break riding over break riding for a CB1
Yeah, but that's kinda-
discard 2 to get 2 extra attacks done? I mean, what it's worth.
So the counterblast 1 7 Cs is an interesting choice, but I see why they did it. The fact that it's not, I think Ryan's point was going to be, why isn't it next stage? And I think there's good reason why it's not next stage.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is, one, You can discard a grade 3. I mean, because we know that 7 Cs is already about break riding over break riding over break riding. So you need to set up for the break ride continually. And this card helps you do that. Because you can break ride, then you can discard one of them. Because the way the deck works is you break ride and stride anyways. So with this card, it really lets you take advantage of the fact that you're going to stride one of the break ride. You're going to break ride into a different grade 3. You're going to stride using the break ride. And then you're able to get the break ride back. And the 2 cards that you discard is not really that consequential because next time you break ride, you can get those dudes back. Because that's the way the break ride works. Break ride calls 2 dudes. So
I mean, it's consequential in that you only got effectively 1 card in your hand that turn. That's kind of important, but
that's true.
I see what you're saying.
But the thing is,
Well, you do get 2 extra attacks for it.
No, you don't.
Assuming you go over the break ride. If you're
Yes.
doing like
Oh,
Jose
You
said,
break
and you're
ride
not
into a
on the
break ride into this card, and then use its effect, Plagueton.
Got it. Okay.
Then
I
you
see
get the
what
break
you're
ride again. You
I
get
got
2
you.
more dudes, and you're happy.
saying. I agree with that. I think it's a really good thing. I think the card isn't bad. I think it definitely helps 7 Cs. It doesn't hurt them. But it's not like gonna like knock them back into what 7 Cs were, I think. It doesn't do anything for 7 Cs rush, so
I'm gonna be honest, just philosophically, I really hate this concept of putting limit break effects on strides. Just in general, that's been happening more, and I really hate that just from a philosophic standpoint. But
yeah, I never liked limit break as a mechanic either, Nate. I agree with that. I think limit break it really was detrimental to the game in my opinion. But I don't know.
it's not even that. It's just if you want this to make a later game stride, just make it GB2. Why are you kind of... It really goes back to the concept of limit break made you play the game without... I can't guard early and still come out ahead. I have to be at 4. Like, I really hate that philosophically, but that's a tangent.
Yeah, I don't like that it's limit break 4, but in my opinion, they've only been giving limit break 4 skills to older decks anyways. No new deck has got a limit break 4 stride. Only like legacy decks that already ran with limit break built into their mechanic are running this. Or running like limit break strides.
Well, the
Which
2 we've seen, the true limit break 4 ones we've seen that say limit break 4 are this and Sunshine Vert, and both are supposed to be used with their break rides. So that's nice.
And
I
Raging
agree.
Form.
Flavorful.
Raging Form is limit break.
And Raging Form.
Zillion
That
is
is
limit
true.
break, correct? The Blau one is limit break 5.
But that's
It's
just
helpful.
for balance's sake.
I know, I'm just saying, philosophically, I would rather you say, just give me a GB3. Don't give me this kind of arbitrary limit break. Like,
But now you can make a jankier rush deck.
by GB3, is it really a rush deck?
Well, it just all depends. I mean, these 7 Cs players are just gonna be like, oh, you swing, I'll take it. Oh, you swing, I'll take it. Oh, you swing, I'll take it. It's kind of how like limit break was for a long time. Was, oh, you'll swing, I'll take it. I'm kind of skipping the commons, but it is important to note that for a few days, all we saw was some 7 Thorn support.
Yeah, a
or
bunch of Silver Thorn garb.
Thorns. I don't really want to go into it right here, so I won't.
Comments.
Wow.
They're
Wow.
commons. Commons are commons.
One of them is relatively decent. I don't know which one. I remember one was decent. Don't be hating on decent commons. What's
Hey
it-
man, look, Flocal.
common?
Flocal is a
Yeah.
decent common.
All
Hey.
right. Y'all can get out of here.
No, I'm just gonna skip these comments real quick.
All right.
let's
Thor-
go.
Masked Phantom Harry. New Harry grade 3. All right.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Auto, Vanguard Circle, once per turn, Generation Break 2, Counterblast 1. When your rear guard is put into your soul, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a grade 3 with card with the Magi ability from your soul and put it into your hand. All right. Getting some stride fodder. If you can do stuff on your opponent's turn, that would be okay. And get some stride for next turn. Otherwise, you're not going to use this skill. Auto, when this is placed on Vanguard Circle, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, put a card into your soul, put a card on the bottom of your deck. Well, okay. And you actually do have to put a card in your soul and put a card on the bottom. You do not get to choose. Magia, Auto, Vanguard Circle, Soul Blast 1. During your turn when your unit strides, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card with the Magia ability from your soul, call it to Rearguard Circle. At the end of the turn, put that unit into your soul. And it's triple R.
Keith said he liked this card. He said it was pretty good. By the way, to answer Ryan's question, you can because of the new G guard.
All right, that's what I want.
Because the new G guard calls something out into rear guard.
All right.
Because remember last damage check we talked about it. The new G guard calls something out that you might be able to call into intercept. But because the G guard does call something when your rear guard is put into your soul, so even if you didn't actually, let's say hypothetically you didn't use it to intercept or whatever, you just called it out of your soul.
Throw it in the back row.
Throw it in the back row, and then at the end of the turn, when it's popped back into the soul, this goes off. You count +1, you get a grade 3. I'm not saying like it's gonna happen a lot, but I mean, gurgle it into a PG doesn't happen a lot either. But the point is, it's there.
You can,
and that's important. And it's like it's an option. There's nothing bad with having options. And then the on-play skill's fine. The G-Unit Stride skill, I think, is perfectly good. I think this card's good, actually. What are your thoughts?
I mean, the main question is it a replacement for main Harry?
I don't know if it's a replacement. I think he's going to work in tandem.
Do you really need artillery, man?
That's the real question.
I'm 20K. Screw you.
But yeah, that was new Harry. And that's the third triple R of the set already revealed. So we're kind of like blowing through spoilers of this set. And I think Nate said that he doesn't think that Granblue is going to get a G guard in this set, which is pretty surprising.
No,
and if they do, it's going to be
not get a G guard double R. It has to be
G guard
triple
double
R
R
and up if they get one.
Maybe they'll get a GR.
That GR guard. Let's go.
It's happened before.
Yeah. Thanks, Kagero.
Yeah. And Togoromaru
Bushi
also
said
has
they
a G guard.
Bushi said they wouldn't give you Persona Flip Strides, so that are GR. So no, they'll just give you GR G guards, which may be a 4-of in Granblue. Who knows? It could be fantastic, or it could suck. I'm okay with either.
I agree. I kind of don't want to see them get a GRG guard. I just don't like that precedent that I get ever.
Well, the precedent's been set. Live with it. Also, one thing about Harry, I really don't like that it doesn't have a rearguard skill.
Yeah, that's got a little bit disappointing. I like the direction that some of the newer guys do have rearguard skills.
See, I thought Harry would be Harry and the new Night Mist. I thought or Night Rose were going to be perfect candidates for rearguard skills because they seem like the most easy cards you could get duplicates onto the field one way or another to be useful. Like, I don't know how often I'm going to have like a Victor on rearguard circle. Like, I can't call it out. I have to be desperate for that. I thought Night Rose and Harry were perfect examples of cards that they can be on rearguard circle because you just call them and then they go away. So that was disappointing. But
yeah, I can agree with that. Really quick, because I have super much bias, we're going to talk about these ghosties because I like ghosties. He's Keith the Ghosty. When this unit is placed on rear guard, this unit gets power plus 3k to the end of turn. If the number of cards with Ghosty in its card name in your drop zone is 3 or less, rest this unit. Don't play it in non-ghosties. Act rear guard once per turn, kind of +1. Put the top card of your deck into the drop zone. If that card has Ghosty in its card name, stand this unit, and it gets power plus 3k until the end of turn. So, kind of interesting. Actually kind of crappy, to be honest. In my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. And then we've got Crimmy the Ghosty. During your turn, if the number of your cards in your drop zone is 5 or more, the unit gets power plus 2k. And then if the number of cards with Ghosty in its card name is 10 or more, the unit gets power plus 5k. And then Continuous Guardian Circle, if the number of cards with Ghosty in its card name in your drop zone is 10 or more, this unit gets shield plus 5k. And that's Ghosties.
That's a lot of stuff on one card, especially for a grade 2. But are you playing Ghosties? Like, is that what you're doing?
It's basically
oh, I don't really need this cannoneer in here. I'm gonna play Ghosties.
Well, here's the thing. Crimmy the Ghosty is an 11k beat stick if you're running Granblue. It's a 14k beat stick if you're running pure Ghosties.
It's a 16k beat stick at that point.
Oh, it's a 16k beat stick.
And
if you're
10k interceptor.
Ghosties, and a 10k interceptor if you're running pure Ghosties. But on the other hand, you're running pure Ghosties.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to run pure Ghosties. You can run enough Ghosties, but still, like, does this really displace any of your other grade 2s?
I agree. This ain't gonna be replacement, obviously. What do you think, Nate? Any ideas here?
Who cares about Ghosties?
Wow, Nate. Wow, why you gotta be like that, though?
They're cute, but they're bad. You guys know how I feel about bad cards. Just let me talk about Demon World Castles.
You like them 10Ks, Nate? You like them?
Oh, what was that? What was that Nova Grappler subclan that was absolute garbage?
Death Army.
Death Armies.
Death Army had such good potential, and they were like, nah. You're all about Cosmo Lord now.
Death Army.
New Cosmo Lord. They couldn't even. They said, we're so sorry. They'll give you a different Cosmo Lord. This does not operate at all with the old Cosmo Lord.
Whoops.
Have you guys ever met the guy with a 50 Cosmo Lord deck? It's amazing.
No.
Yes.
No, I don't want to.
He just has a deck of 50 Cosmo Lords. He loses every game.
One could only wonder why.
So, back to what we're talking about.
Vanguard.
So, in terms of news, Ryan's got a few news about the Fighters Collection, but it's kind of confirmed now about what clans we saw in the image itself of the set, right?
Yeah.
Dungaree support not happening as far as we know.
No Dungaree for you.
No Dungaree in that was a Kagero, right?
Right.
Kagero.
It's Blazing Flare.
It's Blazing Flare. Nothing else really. I mean, the Neonectar heal is 2 cherries, and I don't really know how I feel about this. Yeah.
Could have been so much more, but you get cherries instead.
So, can I just throw this out there? That Dungaree may be the only pre-Thunderstrike Narukami deck that actually sort of did what Thunderstrike does. Thunderstrike is Dungaree evolved. That's what Narukami is right now.
The entire clan is Dungaree.
Oh, please, no.
You're welcome.
It doesn't fall under our legacy support mandate.
Not like this. Not like this.
But yeah, anyway, you get some fancy Royal Paladin dudes. Your G-Guard is a dog. Your Heal Trigger is another dog. That's just a lower version of the big dog. And then you get, like, maybe that's Garmor. I really don't know.
I think OTT gets Tsukiyomi.
No, Amaterasu. We got Amaterasu back, and I'm very happy about that because now we might actually get some decent Oracle support since that's what that clan does.
Yeah.
We got a nice looking D Police unit. Aquaforce looks good. This stride's probably going to be poopy. I'm just looking at the art and I'm like, this stride's going to be bad. It's not gonna be cool.
Does it look like
it's a nice little dolphin for the D Police Heal Trigger.
Can I just say that the Gear Chronicle one still looks like Spectral Duke to me? Like a Gold Paladin Spectral Duke?
It's too purple. It's got a sword. Why?
He looks like a Durgan with a staff, man.
Also, turn up for like just more Ularoos. They love Uluru so much.
You can't abandon the first heal, man.
I guess not.
That was their first heal, and that was the only heal that mattered to them, except for the Zodiac Time one.
Yeah, they also brought back Lozenge Magus, but I'm really glad they actually did make Kagura's a flame dragon because they know what they're about.
If it's like the thing is like you guys still wouldn't have ran it even if it had a good skill, you guys would have been like,
have
but
to
it's
run
not
Motherwood.
a flame dragon though. That's actually going to lead us into, like I said, it's going to be a much shorter damage check today.
We know you'll all have an hour.
That's pretty much it for news, right, guys? There's not really anything in the news sector. Nate, anything in the news of Vanguard?
Not that I can think of right now. Give me some time. I'll make
right.
something up.
Nothing really in the news of Vanguard. So, topic of the day. A lot of people think we're talking about Gear Chronicle, but we're not. What we're actually talking about is the fact that I think Keith was the one who told us that this new set, or was he saying all sets? Do you guys remember?
For the past little while.
I think for the past few sets, it has appeared to be 60% new cards. And by new cards, I mean cards that support new subclans or new mechanics, and then 40% legacy support. And by legacy as support, I mean subclans, mechanics of old. Basically, to bring it into a full better scope. So, Pale Moon was in the new set, and 60% of the support, or Pale Moon and Granblue is in the new set. 60% seems to be towards Night Rose and Harry. And then 40% seems to be Seven Seas,
Silver Thorns,
Silver
Nightmare
Throne,
Dolls.
and Nightmare Dolls. So we still don't see the Nightmare Dolls support, I don't think.
I've seen a little, maybe.
And that seems to be kind of the precedence over the last couple sets. And the question is, this is true with almost all clans. Anytime Royals are mentioned, we expect some form of Blaster support or, God forbid, last set, Garmore support. We saw some Liberator support, but it was also Garmore, and I was also disappointed. So it's kind of weird to see this, and I wanted to open the discussion both to the chat and both to my panel of great friends of mine of what they think about the fact that we're splitting up. These sets tend to be split up between this new stuff and this old stuff, and how you think it impacts the game overall.
Well, to start off, I think that now is homage support being lumped in there is question number one. So if I get a G-Guard Dungaree, and he has nothing to do with that, I'm guessing that fits in with the legacy support, or is he just kind of in this middle area?
No, because if it's a Dungaree G-Guard, but it has nothing to do with the Dungaree,
then it's new stuff. Okay, all right. So homage is in with new stuff. That's fine.
So, yeah, homages, but Zillion is legacy support.
Right. So my first point with this has to be that some of the legacy support it's usually either too good or too bad. So you strike a nice balance with something like Revenger Rap Dragon, where you have this will be an okay deck. I can play this deck. It'll be fine. Awesome. It's not going to break the game like the Blaster support, and it's not going to fail flat in its face like Zungeki did. Zungeki is a perfect example of tease support. Zumbaku's coming back. Buy all those Zumbakus. It's happening. Mad Money with Ryan this Wednesday at 7:30. and then you get Jack, and you're like, are you running Murakumo? I'm so sorry, friend. We're not play Yasui. And so we're kind of stuck in this balance where anytime the legacy support comes out, and not to complain about the secondary market, because we all know about that. We've done videos on it. We've done lessons on it. You know about that.
It's wonderful.
But that it's really, even before you see the effects, the moment that it even looks like a previous card, I'll bet you some people were hovering over that Dungaree on the reveal going, is it that time again? Do I have to spend my $20 buying 16 Dungarees just to make it? But the amount of tease support we've gotten is, one, that hurts the game. It hurts the player base more than anything else. Just making a card to make an older card playable probably isn't the best idea. Making homage support is fun, but doesn't really contribute anything. And then making good support is good, but would you be better off making new support anyway? Devoting more cards to making Thunderstrike viable instead of Descendant way back when. I'm a fan of legacy support, considering my clan kind of almost rides on it, or our legacy support is the new support. That's kind of how it's been with any legend deck clans.
That's true.
But moving on from that, if you're outside those three, where your legacy is your new stuff, would it just be more worth it to have that new support, or is it really that important that we bring back Nightmare Dolls and Silver Thorns and yada yada yada?
Yeah, and I so here's go ahead, Nate. Actually, I haven't given you a chance. Go ahead, Nate.
Oh, okay. How long do I have? I could lecture on this.
6 minutes. 6 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, you have as much time as you want to.
I really like the concept of legacy support. Kind of like when we talked about the revival collection. I think it really does reward the player base who, like, I kept all of my raging forms. I think it rewards me for keeping those. I didn't trade them away as soon as the deck kind of went under. You know, so I think it's nice. It kind of makes our old cards that have just kind of gone away, it brings them up a little bit. With it is how they're distributing it. Because, so in like GBT09, the reason it seems to hurt so much is because clans, aside from Gear Chronicle, got somewhere between 16 and 21 cards. New cards, not reprints, new cards. So, you know, when you think if you're including legacy support, if you only got 20 cards, probably a solid 8 of those are dedicated to trying to bring up a new clan. So you are limited just by the way they do distribution to only having 12 new cards in a set. So I think it really hurts the way that there are so few cards from every clan already in a new set that when almost half of that is trying to bring up these old decks, it really kind of limits what the new decks can do. I think it's really nice in things like the technical booster, where clans have like 45 cards each. Yeah, you can get a solid 20 for the old decks and still have 25 for the new. That's great. But not everything is a technical booster. So I really think I would personally rather see than trying to split these boosters and my 16 cards I may get once every 5 or 6 sets between new and old. I would rather just say, okay, give me a fighters collection that exclusively is bringing up old decks. Give me things like a revival collection that's giving some new cards to bringing up these old decks and reprinting cards, and maybe some old support and like character boosters and technical boosters. But just because the way booster sets are already squeezed for space, I think it really hurts everyone to try to cram in some legacy support in your already very small allocation of cards. So there you go.
All right. So I agree with a lot of what Nate said, and all his facts are actually true when it comes to that. But I'm going to go kind of on the other end of the spectrum of why I think it's legacy support is kind of so difficult that it should maybe to a certain extent. Because here's the thing. Should just be stayed away. Vanguard's a weird game. So I'm going to compare it to like Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Never really got the whole legacy idea until this last real season. Because up until this point, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Had always been like, all right, this season, well, season 1, let's ignore that. But season 2 was like fusions. Everything is about fusions. So we're all like in the fusion train. And then the next 5Ds was like everybody gets synchros, kick-ass synchros all around, and everyone had synchros. And then the next season was like exceeds, like everyone gets exceeds, and it's great. Synchros, fuck them. We're going straight on exceeds. And then we went to pendulums, and then they were like, oh, we broke the game. We got to give everything back to everything else. But like in this last time, they found a balance of like. Fusions came back into play. So did synchros. So did exceeds. Everything came back into the game in its own rituals, even maybe for a moment there. And like everything kind of got its time to shine. In Vanguard, it's so much more complicated because hold on, can I finish this for a second? Because here's the thing, like even when we started talking about legacy support, the amount of people in the chat who brought up subclans, and I was like, really? Do we really need more Ragey support? Do we really need more Mon support? Do we really need some more Sanctuary of Light support? Like, and I bet you there's a fan out there watching who's like, hey, I like Death Army. Where's my Death Army support? Like, that's the thing. It's like, just stretched to everyone wants everything. And it's like, you just can't. Sometimes decks do need to just die. And like Bushiroad's too scared to like do that. And I can understand that because these people like invested, they want their money back over the long term. Understandable. I'm a blaster player. To me, the best, I will agree 100%. If I ran Bushiroad, almost all our sets would be technical boosters. If I was going to follow a month-by-month release schedule like Bushiroad does, I would do a technical booster schedule. Each month, 3 different clans. That way, I can devote the support to across all the... You can get your Reiji 2 cards. You can get your Death Army 1 card. It's still going to be poop because Death Armies are still poop. It's gonna be you can get your 1-ofs and the 2-ofs and the cards that you so desperately want, without affecting the new stuff in the progress of the game overall. And alongside with that, I think the Legend decks actually do a good job of balancing, because they introduce the old mechanic into the new era in a lot of situations. With Ren, it was more like, let's just take Blaster to Diablo and screw the rest. But I think that the Blaze, Kai's Legend deck, really hit that balance perfectly. It was like, all right, here's this new Overlord. It restands. It's a stride, essentially. But it's a stride in the mechanics of new. Not in stride. It's not the mechanics of old. And Overlord decks today use a lot of the new stuff that has come out for that Legend deck, and at the same time still mix in the old. They still use Burnout. They still use... Ryan, what else do you use outside of Burnout?
New Nahalem.
No, old stuff.
Neoflame.
New Flame. You still abuse some old
Conroe.
stuff. Conroe. Sadeg. I think Sadeg's an old card.
He's from BT14, yeah.
Yeah, so like you still find a way to use old stuff. So you need to find a way to do that. And this whole like 6 clan per schedule, 6 clan for booster just ain't gonna cut it. You just can't. But I think that like some of you guys have to learn to let go. Like I've come to terms that I may never see Seeker support again.
It's been a long time.
And I've come to terms with the fact that if Thingsaver gets a stride, it's probably not going to be good because Thingsaver is just that busted. And that's okay. Like, I had my fun with Seekers. We did the whole hoopla. It was a good time. I won a lot of games. But it's time to move on to bigger and better things. And that's my 2 cents. Ryan, I cut you off, though. Go ahead.
Sure. So, we did get talking into about Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit, and while we usually don't go to that area, I will say that Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have any of the same restrictions that Vanguard does. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Can design its cards around a specific archetype, and it only works with that archetype. But if there's a card that's not, you can put it in anything. So, for example, if you wanted to support Elemental Heroes, but it's just you can use it, like it's just, let's say they make an Elemental Hero Xyz. It says 2 level 4 monsters. Well, okay, I can use that in anything that's good enough, right? I can. I can support everything, and especially support an archetype. And they make cards like that, and people do use them. I mean, hell, you use like Photon Thrasher in Heroes because it just worked. Even though it was Photon support, you just used it in Heroes because it made sense. Because you can put any card in any deck, and while you might be wrong for doing it, you can still do it. In Vanguard, where you're supporting the very foundation of your game is archetypes, or clans, as they call them, and as we know them. And restricting support like that is just, it brings its problems. And now we're really seeing these problems where you're trying to keep the game from BTO3 alive 20 sets later. More than that. How many sets is that?
I know.
Probably 50. Probably 50 sets.
If we include extra boosters and stuff, I think you might be right, actually.
Yeah.
It's like 25, 26 sets later. All right.
Nate.
Yeah, I got called on. So I really just wanted to defend Shadow players, and it does speak to a larger issue, kind of similar to Ryan. But the real difference in my eyes to what the Rin Legend deck was and what the Kai deck was Shadows at the time were a sub-clan. We were Revengers. So when the Legend deck came out, we could only use things that would mesh with Revengers, which isn't a lot. Because even back in the day of Abyss, you ran 2 cards in a 50-card deck that were not Revengers. Those were Swordbreaker Angels, because they were just so good you could afford to maybe draw into them. The Kai Legend deck and what Kagero did was Kagero wasn't built around a subclan. Kagero was not built around Steel Dragons at the time. They were on a broader archetype of Overlord. So when you got your legacy support, it was supporting an archetype that was really carrying your clan. Whereas Shadows, like a lot of other clans, like Silverthorns, Nightmare Dolls, things like that, Seven Seas, they're sub-clans. Those decks, to support them, require such restrictive cards. They have to have Silverthorn in name, or Revenger in name, or Seven Seas in name. Whereas if you do like the Lu and the Blaster Blade stuff, or the Overlord stuff, if you're supporting an archetype, it can be broader and still support the legacy stuff, and can be mixed into the new stuff with a certain extent. So, in my defense, we were a sub-clan getting archetype support, which we could not incorporate. Not that we did not want to incorporate.
So you're absolutely drawing a line between what sub-clans and archetypes are. Archetypes are arbitrary cards that can be used by the general clan, like Overlord anything, basically, except for things that are specifically... But Revengers need Revengers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think those are the ones that are very hard, and I agree with Nate, to give legacy support to. Because you have to devote it to that and that alone. It can't be... Like what he said, is like... It's like the opposite problem. Is like, let's remember when Sword Me came out. Sword Me made this influx where now everything had to mesh with a Jewel Knight core. It had to be a Jewel Knight core. Thingsaver had to work with... You had to make it work with Jewel Knights. You had to. Thingsaver, you had to make it. Saint Card, you had to make it. Atmile, nobody played at the time, so nobody cared. But those 2 decks, you had to make it work with the Jewel Knight engine, which was detrimental to both card design and kind of hurt Jewel Knights, because they were like, well, we can't really give Jewel Knights anything until we deal with this whole Sword Me thing. And that's like the opposite, and then the opposite direction is true. It's like when you're designing cards and you're like, let's give support to Silverthorns. Well, we have to make Silverthorns, and they're really only going to be useful to Silverthorns. And now you've wasted a slot on a certain amount of players, which is fine, but that takes up a slot that could have been used with something else. I've always been more of a fan of overall archetype, Overlord, Blaster, that like isn't so things. Like, I love Liberators, guys. I love them to death. I played them forever. But, like, to make new Liberator support, you have to just make it for Liberators. And, like, Gardmore, you could say, like, gets away with it because Gardmore is can be used both in Golds and in Royals, but, like, he only supports High Beasts. And that's just as limiting in that regard. That's my 2 cents there. Ryan, did you have something else to say? I'm sorry, I think I'm going to cut you off again.
I think we have to get back to the core issue here, and it's not that does legacy support need the support, because and sometimes it does, and do they deserve it? You know, that's up for debate. For if you want to be rewarded, which Bushiroad, they do reward you, so that's a constant. We don't need to debate that. That seems to be something Bushiroad likes, is rewarding the players of their older cards just for hanging on, hanging in there. Here's something. Here's your Zengeki, But how detrimental is it to Sharat and Gaia and even Rising Supernova, or what even the new Spike Brothers actual, like, I guess it's Supernova or something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is though, because like some of these clans only see 1 to 2 sets of support in an entire year. When those 1 to 2 sets, like, were like Royals or Gear Chronicle or name your X clan here that's much more popular, gets tons of support. Bermudas is another good example. Is Bermudas actually only get one support, and it's devoted to them. But like the power creep between some clans from when they got their first grade 3 and their second grade 3 was so much wider than Bermudas when they got their first grade 3 and their second grade 3. I don't even know if they even got a second grade 3 yet, because so much of their last set support was devoted to making legacy cards and then making those legacy cards wedding SPs.
So
it's go ahead.
Can I? Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, I think the way they did Bermudas is actually very elegant and cheeky at the same time. Because Bermudas are having this problem too, where they have multiple subclans where if you're playing Prisms, you can really only use Prism cards. You can't use Harmony cards or whatever. So what they had to do with Bermudas is give them Prism Duo or Duo Prisms. They literally had to give cards that supported both subclans at the exact same to allow Bermudas to get enough new support and support the old decks at the same time. So it's very elegant. It's very cheeky. I think it's dangerous. I don't want a bunch of combined support. Like, don't give me Jewel Knight Seekers. That's dangerous. That is very dangerous.
I can see it. I can see it in Roy.
Blaster Blades Master Alfred the Great. Blaster Alfred support.
See, I actually predicted that. I thought they would do that.
It's just you got to be careful. And the thing is, the topic of this thing is letting past decks die, and to a certain extent, like, look, you want to hold on, you want to hold out for some of these clans, for some of these subclans, sure, more power to you. But like at least hold on to the bigger ones, like Beast Deities. Like, they were big, they were well known. Like, if you're out there holding out for Death Armies, maybe it's a time to just let it die. Blouse,
it'll happen.
It was a 3-year wait. Now, whether or not that deck is good is still yet to be seen. You got your support, but was it really worth it? That's the question you need to ask yourself.
Go Witches. I believe.
Nate with your $50 deck over there.
Yes.
So it's just, that's all I'm saying. That's my general comment. Is like, I mean, obviously, do it. I mean, and we're going to keep getting legacy supports. This is all a hypothetical conversation. Bushi's not going to stop giving you legacy support.
Yeah.
They tried to introduce G regulation, and that met with like public disarray. And so it'll never happen again.
Oh.
But it's just like, when you ever ask yourself, like, why doesn't my clan get the support it really needs? And part of it is because probably half your support, anytime you get it, is dedicated to an old archetype that some guy in Hawaii wants to build still. I just picked Hawaii at random. That's just the truth.
So while it helps the legacy players who do wait, one, you've been waiting, and that means it's time you've might not have been playing the best deck, or that you've really held out, or that your investment isn't making your money back, and that hurts you. And when it comes to your time, it really hurts the new players because maybe they just need more cards. Like Harry needs more cards, Shara needs more cards. All of those guys need more cards, and they're having cards taken away from them because they have to please the older player base.
Yep.
And at some point, it's detrimental for both sides to have the system. Now, is it more detrimental to have no legacy support at all? Maybe. But it depends on how they balance the new support entirely. Or how restrictive the cards like Revengers or Silver Thorns were in the first place. Like Great Nature, you could print new support and play it in old decks because they didn't have an archetype or a subclan. Yeah. Big Belly is their first one, if I'm not mistaken. Or their cards kind of play on each other.
Yeah, they had archetypes in terms of like
they had similarly named stuff, but nothing that was so restrictive.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't as restrictive as like Overlords or Blasters, but they still had their like Jose, what was the one really cheap,
Leopard.
really bad deck you
Leopard.
built? Leopard, yeah.
Leopold?
Leopold.
I didn't build that deck.
Or no, what deck did you build?
I don't know. Battle Sisters.
But yeah, I get
Well,
you.
Battle Sisters did get support, and it's questionably the best OTT deck.
Okay, that's a different problem. We're not talking about that.
But definitely not because of the old stuff they got, but because of the new stuff. Let's make that very clear.
Hamsuke. I would consider that an
I never
archetype.
built. It's more. Oh, all right.
It's an archetype. If
Leopold.
you're talking like a subclan,
Yeah, no, they don't have a subclan.
right?
Rip.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started with these Ask Absolutions. We're going to do about 8 minutes worth, and then we're going to call it a day. All right. Oh, man. That was a good topic. I like that topic.
The fact that we're still supporting Battle Sisters is just come on, man. That might be a deck. Good idea or bad idea for the? Oh God, do it. Just do it, Peter, and get it over with, please. So we can see how this goes.
There's no honor in being the best OTT.
Amaterasu, please.
Should King of Knights Alfred get a stride bonus retrain like Lukier got?
Yes,
Probably
absolutely
not. No. We already got Alfred Oath. I don't know what more people want out of my Alfreds.
At Two Bleach fans, at hashtag Absolution, Ryan, can you do an updated hand trap Kagero deck? Take out your burnouts, put in your Rulins. Excellent, you're in there. At least that's what I did.
Okay, timeout on the Alfred. I vote no because it would still be able to Legion, and I don't want Legions that also get stride bonuses.
Grandorija!
Oh, dude!
Yeah.
Actually, that's spicy.
No.
Oh, that's nice.
Hashtag Absolution. Also, shout out to your username Rockley Rules. How long ago did you make that anyway? What are your thoughts on mini engines like the Blaster engine? Stop it. We don't need 3-card combos that win you the game.
Here's the thing. That combo, I like the concept of mini engines, but they're too splashable. See, this is the opposite problem. It's like, but at the same time, I like that because it's universal. But like, you just can't make them that good. You can make them, they can exist, but they just can't be that good. Like, it has to be a type of mini engine that you're like, oh, let's use this mini engine in this deck, but maybe not in this deck because of the way this deck works is just different. But no, see, the Blaster engine's too universal. It's like, why wouldn't you run it in all of it? At Mount Brave?
Just
Nah.
Blaster
At Mount Blaster.
That's all it needed. All it needed.
Hashtag Absolution. Should Charlotte get a Dreaming Dragon clone? Maybe. But if you're not comboing out on them by the time that you get to the bottom of your deck, what are you doing? If you play the combo, I guess.
Hashtag Absolution. What do you think of Pale Moon and Granblue overall? With
Granblue is the hot hue, and Pale Moon is not.
Pale Moon has more to be desired. Granblue seems to be just still good. So
it's the god right now. Doombringer support, please more Griffins.
On how they had Kamui losing last week. I didn't watch that episode. Sorry, man. With the next set having Genesis, should Regalia be included? Possibly, but I don't think so.
I think this might be more Genesis Witches. Because when they do Legacy, they tend to not give all of the Legacy at once. Like they'll do, we'll focus on Regalia. We'll focus on Revengers this time, like they did with set 9. They kind of pick one and then kind of do the next one.
And Regalia's got support the last go round. So
do you think creating legacy cards which can support older cards and newer cards and mesh them together is a good compromise? For instance, if Death Army worked with activating Rush, that'd be okay. I'd be alright with that. That's kind of like crossing over into the homage category, but I'd be okay with it. So, Ryan.
Oh, yes. So, hashtag Ask Absolution, is the new SP Bermuda Triangle art going to be them in French maid outfits? That has been my prediction since last year when they gave me wedding SPs. I think it's going to be maids this year. Better be maids this year.
Dude, if they make him a nervous stride, that card is already gonna like.
Those SPs are gonna go bye bye.
And they're already like $80. The full art SPs are like absurdly expensive.
I thought they were 100.
That's
Mad money with Ryan. 7:30 on Wednesdays. Hashtag Ask Absolution. What do you think Luart needs to reach top tier? More cards, more cards, more cards, more cards. Here comes set 10. Beep beep. Nate, get ready to play some Luart.
Who needs a legacy stride and why? I don't think I'm having a hard time. No. The thing is, I'm having a hard time thinking of any of the old bosses in my recent memory that actually needs stop.
Dragonic Overlord, the awesome.
I really don't think of. I can't think of one, to be honest.
Thingsaver, duh. Thingsaver needs a stride.
No, does he though? Does he though? Royals already have like 2 to 3 competitive builds. Do we really need one of them to get super good? I don't know. And we're getting a legend deck. Look, I'm all about getting support, but Royals, let's pump the e-brake. Let me just get my Alfred stuff, and then I'll run into the sunset happy. I guess Dauntless Drive wouldn't be a bad one. Hello?
Hello? Dauntless Drive would not be bad. You're correct.
Hello.
Like that. We got one. Should people use interdimensional crossover dragon
Thank you, Daryl.
if they can't afford next stage?
Daryl leaves. Huh. Thank you. We're subscribed to your YouTube channel. I don't know if you knew that or not, but we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll take it.
I mean, granted, it's not bad to use this card. The only problem is you kind of have to have boosters and save boosters, and it's still GB3, so you can't go into it right away. But granted, like Metallica Phoenix gets you there, or a G-Guard gets you there. Like, this card's not bad. But how much do you think this card's going to be if it's a GR and try 3 next versus the next stage reprints?
My favorite thing.
That's my question to you.
Oh, to me? Oh, I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that. Sorry. I completely got out of here. Do I think Raging Foam should get a Legion? No. What old cards do you think we brought in the Legend deck? Marin. And Marin's already going to get brought. I mean, basically, his old squad. We're probably going to see another Wingle of some sort. We'll get brought back. Maybe it's a grade 3. Wait, no. Wingle's got to be a grade 2. It's the only grade he hasn't been. Oh, shit, no, I think he's been a grade 1 either. No, I think he started as a grade 1.
He started as a grade 1, yes. The original Wingle is a grade 1.
The original Wingle's a grade 1, so he's grade 1, grade 0, grade 3. So he's either got to be a
stride or G-Guard.
He doesn't have a stride or a G-Guard, but he's got to be at least one of those.
Thanks, Daryl. Much appreciated.
So hashtag Absolution, a fight on a real card system, or well, that'd be cool. But I mean, I like a lot of things. You made it.
Dual Discudio duel. Cardfight's definitely more immersive. I'd go for that. Plus, I'm just much better at that game, so I might actually win.
Wait. That's actually an important question. Hashtag Absolution unrated. Anyone playing Digimon World Next Order? This guy.
Oh my God.
If it's Digimon who stays playing it.
If it has Digimon, I'm playing. Except for the mobile game. I don't play the mobile game. But I am playing Digimon Next Order. It's actually pretty good.
Hashtag Ask Absolution. Do you think that spending money on celebs to play bad Vanguard is a smart usage of money? No.
No, not when they spread out 6 arms. Like
yeah,
in that commercial.
That was weird.
I'm like, is this Vishnu? Hashtag Absolution. Why do you think Thunderstrike is so bad? Because it's non-splashable. It doesn't work with any of the other clans in the game. Any of the other sub-clans in that clan. It works with Dungaree, and it works with
That's an architect.
Dungaree, and it works with Vanquisher. But it doesn't work with Brawlers, and it doesn't work with Eradicators, and it doesn't work with Vermilion.
And that's pretty much it. Is you can't put those cards. You can't put that support. That new support is totally off the wall in terms of what you want to do with the old support. So it's kind of like what happens when you give old legacy support to restrictive subclans like Revengers. Like the new stuff could be used by other stuff, but the old stuff is not usable with any of the new stuff because you need Revengers. But in this case, the new support is unusable with the old cards. And while that's okay, it doesn't make it a great mechanic. And it's so restrictive in just that that's how it works. Like Blaze, whatever. Here's a burnout. I'm in Blaze. You know what? Cool. Or even Oracle, it's like, I just need cards that draw cards, and I'm got my mechanic, and now my mechanic cards work. Thunderstrike? No. That's not going to happen. There's no way.
It didn't do what the clan already did, and there's no way to make the clan do what it wants to do unless you're using those cards.
And their explanation for the new mechanic was horse. They're like, oh, our combi just needs to be more precise, and they hit you with lightning, and that's worse than being hit by fire, so you go to the bind zone instead. And I'm like, and you decided to neuter your clan, well, this is why?
They had a solid mechanic of attacking multiple units. That was cool. That was unique. I mean, it was really close to retire, but is binding better? I don't think so.
Not really. Favorite card to try 3 next, Alfred. Alfred.
Yeah.
Legit sword dragon.
Legit sword dragon.
Only because he's legit. No, that's enough of that.
Hashtag Absolution. What is the next step for the game? Grand Legion. Take all your useless GB2 effects, put them up next to your stride. The Grand Legion draws power from the heart, so it's not any more powerful. It's still 26k, but you also get the GB2 effect. So Charlotte, instantly better. Amazing card. 10k in a crit, here it is. You know, or something like Susano, where you can use this 5k in a crit for GB2. Suddenly, all of these cards that needed more stuff are just now better.
Yeah, but that's also incredibly dangerous. Like Grand Gallop?
It's the next step for Cardfight Vanguard. Do I care about dangerous? Clearly we crossed the line back there somewhere, but let's keep going and see what happens.
Can I throw an off-the-wall idea out there?
Go for it.
I would rather them fully flesh out the mechanics they have than introduce a new one. That might be revolutionary, but I would rather see a fully fleshed out mechanic than 2 sets and on to the next mechanic. You know I'm looking at you, Legion.
Well, I think Legion was a special case there.
Oh, it was very special.
Indeed it was. There's things saving those are great, and for everyone else, promos.
Do you think you want the game to slow down? Ryan, do you think you want the game to slow down?
I don't mind the game slowing down. It's just what happens when that happens. So how do you slow down the game in Vanguard? So G-Guards were a great example of what clans benefit the most from this. So the more control-y clans like Kagero and Link Joker benefited a lot from the advent of G-Guards because they just weren't getting beat down anymore. But you had then that allowed clans that needed the late game, that needed the GBs, so Gear Chronicle being the prime example, to rise up. And then you had decks that were able to undercut however they managed to slow the game down in the first place. And so Rush became a little more prevalent simply because if you played a normal deck, it was then subject to G-Guards. It was subject to those slowing down mechanics, and they just made something that was so fast and so off of what Bushiroad wanted you to do that they just created an entirely different meta on their own. So slowing the game down, it really depends on how you do it.
All right. This is gonna. I kind of was listening to what you said, but I just had an idea. What if we had Stride Legion? But listen, you actually pull another Stride out of the G zone and
hello, Murakumo,
or into the Vanguard circle. But the cost is you ditch 2 grade 3s in the beginning of your turn.
Ooh.
And basically, it's your Vanguard becoming something through time, like Stride works, its possible future, and then it grabbing something else and grabbing it along with it.
Aperture Science. We do what we want because we can.
I get mad at the lemons.
Hashtag ask Absolution. How could they have Overlord stand this time? Stride Legion! Ace into another ace!
No, Ace into Omega Great. The new stride. Like, I had to grab through time.
I'm so done with Overlord support. I'm just so done with it.
It's gonna happen.
Alright, here's my hashtag ask Absolution to Nate. Which are you more sick of? Overlord or Blasters? If you could only get rid of one of them, which one would it be?
Okay, one, my clan has blasters, so I wouldn't choose that anyways.
Blasters.
But just kind of in general, I don't think blasters and Royal Paladins have gotten that much support, really. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but aside from the Blaster Blade engine, they got, what, like 2 or 3 cards in the character booster? And now they're getting a legend deck?
Boy! Legend deck.
I'm just saying. I'm sick of Overlords. At least Blaster Blade went away for a little while. Blaster Blade was gone long enough for me to miss him.
Just enough.
Overlords never went there. Overlords were always there.
They were always there, waiting
Blaster
for you.
Blade took a backseat to Sword Me for a little while, and it was pleasant. It was nice. I appreciate, as much as I hated Sword Me, I appreciated the whole we're done with Blaster Blade. Have this furry cat as your mascot for a little while. That was nice. Overlords never quit.
Ryan,
Overlords.
what is your biggest threat for the future? What do you think the biggest threat is for the future of the game?
Biggest threat to the future of the game in general, or in terms of cards? If we go in terms of
biggest threat to the game.
Biggest threat to the game. Oh goodness. It's
you
probably
can't
going
say
to
just Bushy Road.
No, I'm
That's
going to
not
go
a
with the
valid
release
answer.
schedule. The way they do the release schedule is probably just eventually going to burn people out. Like people like us, when we hit our strides and can take in every set, or we have expendable income, awesome. But if we don't, and the economy in America just keeps bubbling out the core demographic of card gamers, so 18 to 25, and we just can't afford these sets anymore, all the games just immediately die. And if you're trying to put out different stuff every month, card shops can't handle it. People can't buy it. That's it. They stop printing. Game's over. Goodbye.
Goodbye. No, I kind of agree with Ryan's assessment of the situation there.
So
It's
while
a
I
dangerous
also
thing.
agree, I want to give a unique answer.
Go for it.
I'm going to say boredom is the greatest threat to the game. Because Jose put it nicely once when he said, there are only so many times you can ride a Vanguard before you're just
it's true. That is true. There's only so many finite rate chants I can state before I'm just done.
Aside from the release schedule, I sometimes worry that if Bushiroad can't keep introducing interesting mechanics, people are going to get tired of it. Like, you can only play, I can only play into Gear Chronicles so many times before I just go crazy. If they can't make it at least somewhat interesting for me to do so, why am I still playing the game?
Guys, stop everything.
Just saying.
We have more ghosties.
No.
We do have more ghosties. I saw. I was upset.
And what I love that Drevlin, he said still more ghosties, and he put the Pac-Man emoji. So, Jackie the Ghosty, Common, Hollow, Generation Break 1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, it gets power plus 2k until the end of that battle. Continuous, Rearguard. If this unit is Hollow, this unit gets power plus 2k and Intercept. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. And it's a grade 1 7k. That's actually not that bad, because that's not very ghosty related.
can I just say, I think it's incredibly interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong. This may be some of the hollow ones are the first time we're seeing subclans and archetypes actually mix with keywords.
Yeah, it actually is.
Because like the Shadow ones didn't have rituals, the Erad ones didn't have Thunderstrike. This is the first time we are starting to see them try to mix that archetype subclan with the keywords. And for Granblue, it's kind of working within the subclan. It goes back to keyword design. The Granblue keyword is so well designed that it can fit into the subclan. Thunderstrike, on the other hand, probably not.
Does not.
I don't have Quincy the Ghosty skill yet. For those of you wondering, I don't have Quincy the Ghosty skill yet. I'll let you know as soon as I get Quincy the Ghosty skill.
Which one is he? Is he
He's the one that? He's the one that isn't Jackie the Ghosty.
So, is he the one that gets plus 2k power when he attacks a Vanguard, and then if it's hollowed, it gets plus 2k more in intercept?
No, I think that's Jack. No, that's Jackie the Ghosty.
Okay, the other one has 5k power to the Vanguard if. Okay, this sounds wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyways. If you retire this Ghosty when your Vanguard is being attacked, your Vanguard gets plus 5k power.
I got it from Drevlin now. It's up.
Please.
So Quincy the Ghosty. Act Drop Zone, Generation Break 1. Counter Blast 1, choose one of your grade 0 rear guards and put it at the bottom of his deck. Call this card to open rear guard. And then auto, retire this unit when your grade 3 Vanguard with Ghosty in its card name is attacked. You may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets power plus 5k until the end of that battle. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
That's interesting if you got a grade 3 Ghosty.
Yeah.
That's not terrible. So, everybody watching at home, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this slightly longer than we expected damage check, episode 75, letting past decks die. Please don't forget to shoot us a like on this video, and please check out our sponsor, Ultra Reality Games, Cardfight Vanguard Circuit Series, link in the description. And we'll talk to you guys next week, and always stay tuned for more content. This is Team Absolution signing off. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.